Well, good morning from the ridge.
Good morning.
Or was it night? Still. Somebody got up early.
Yeah, it was rude.
I was really honestly trying to be quiet. I was up at 3 and I stood in the kitchen for a hot minute just staring at stuff. And so much harvest. And even though we have guests here, I wanted to tackle some of it. So at 3:30 a.m. I started making cherry tomato taco sauce and getting that all rendered down while I was, in the meantime, right as I was starting that, I saw this figure move past the kitchen window and my blood just ran cold and I started tingling all over. Maya starts going nuts because, of course, we sawed Maya. And I thought, oh, for sure, this is it. Someone's getting ready to break in and who's going to make it to the door quick enough, you know? Because it's 3:30 in the morning, right? It was Jennabug. She had just woken up because she's worked how many days in a row? I don't know, like.
Yeah, there's quite a few days in a row that she worked. So with her not having to work last night.
I think she had like a 14-day stretch plus work, and she picked up 12s too. So she slept all day yesterday and she'd woken up around 3 too. So she came down because she's like, I'm hungry, but I didn't want to wake up Swami. But yeah, it was just Jenna. Scared the bejeebies out of me, but it was cool. So, oh yeah, getting back to the whole handsome man waking up. Anyway, I'm chopping vegetables to put into the taco sauce. And Jenna's like, well, I have one of those slam chopper things. And I'm like, well, I've got one coming on from Amazon that I ordered on Prime Day, but it's not here yet. And she's like, well, I'll go up and get it. So she went up and she got it. And man, that thing's loud.
Yeah.
The first hit, I had to like hit it really super hard to get through the green pepper. And after a couple of those times, I hear Jason, babe, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. You know, and Jen and I had been trying to be quiet, but yeah, I woke him up and it was, I don't know, what time was it? 5?
Way too early to be up, but I mean, on the benefit of it, I mean, it's not hot. It's supposed to be a pretty nice day today. And we were able to get chores done, and really I got a few other things done already this morning. Waiting on our guests, Laura and Ollie, to come in. So
should be around 10 a.m.-ish.
Yeah, had a good time yesterday with them. I mean, you gals got to do a lot in the kitchen and getting some stuff done. And we got
more stuff done to do today. I've already pressure canned the taco sauce and done all the dishes up, and haven't even eaten anything yet either.
Yeah.
Getting kind of a little wonky.
You guys, I mean, obviously she's gonna hear it in the playback, so we're trying something new. We have the microphone, so I don't know if we're being too loud because we're so used to shouting at a camera, or what the volume level is gonna work.
That's why I put it over here, because I'm always looking this way.
We have the new camera going, and
we know there were some issues on the last video on the volume, but we don't know.
I think it was more the editing program because we didn't use the microphones.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was the first time using the new camera, but the Adobe kept like stopping the rendering and would say, you know, your project hasn't been saved in a while, close the program and restart. And I should have just closed the program and restarted. It's never done that during a rendering. And so, and it did that, like, it took an hour and a half to render the video because it kept popping up and stopping the rendering. So I think that that's why there was volume, and we kept breaking in and out last time. I think, maybe, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All the trial, guys. I mean, we're trying to make things a little easier. Like
for y'all to hear. And
yeah, because we've had a lot of comments on the main channel from the get-go that, you know, our banter between one another everyone loves that, which is awesome. I mean, we appreciate it because we just think, hey, we're just being normal, giving each other crap all the time. But then when you get far away from the camera, if you're not shouting, it won't really pick it up. So we got these microphones as a gift a while ago, and
the old
unfortunately,
camera wouldn't work.
Yeah, it wouldn't work on the old camera. But with this new one and a whole media mod, I don't know, tech stuff, right? But no, Ben, I mean, yesterday was amazing. We've got a couple ideas of what we would need to get done today.
I got to edit because we didn't get a movie out Tuesday. I don't even know if we have enough footage. It may be a hodgepodge of.
She says that every time, y'all. She's like, we don't have enough. We don't have enough. And then she gets in there and she's like, oh, I guess we have enough.
It just depends on what we're working on. And I guess I need to remind myself that not every video has to be a blockbuster, right? Not every video has to be, you know, something to strive for viral. You know, just so it's getting past that, like getting back to that whole we're just recording our day-to-day lives. It doesn't always have to be a project. It doesn't always have to be, you know, like one topic. It's our videos, it's our diary, it's our journey, and should just be okay doing all of it. I don't know. I've been up since 3 and my brain is like,
you just overthink it.
Like I'm ready for a nap. Ready for a nap. But I know one project we're not going to work on today, and that is the bathroom, the plumbing, because it's not dried out yet.
Yeah, still waiting on. I've got the parts to put everything back together. We've got a little bit of prep work on the outside because we still need to get some things done to be able to fully hook a flush toilet up. Mm-hmm. But I've got the stuff to be able to put the bathroom back together. But there's still a strip that must have been extra super wet, which makes sense. It was up where the wall, you know, all that water coming down the wall. It was the most.
Maya's living her best life.
He's watching her roll around in the dirt. So yeah, I've got the stuff to put it back, but I don't want to put the linoleum down and start putting things down when there's still some moisture in there. And
we're making it work.
Yeah.
I mean, the toilet is still in the living room. I'll use it in the living room. I don't care. I'll tinkle in the living room. Makes me no difference. But he's been going up to the nugget or the back porch.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, aggravated because it's something that I should have addressed a long time ago, but didn't. And so now, you know, and it's unfortunate. I mean, granted, it wouldn't be convenient at any time, but then we have guests that are here and
the house is trash because everything's moved out, and not that it's trash, like it's
just, there's less room. You know, you're in a tiny house and then we have less room because we have things that should be in the bathroom are now sitting in the living room. And,
I think one of the things that Laura, she keeps saying, you know, when they're here is the camera doesn't portray just how small it is. Like she thought my garden was acres upon acres, I think. And it's not, it's big, but like I said before, I think it needs to be bigger. But, you know, we kind of sometimes forget how the camera skews spatial relation, you know, when it comes to how big or how small something is. And yeah, like even just the cutest little thing, like she thought like if we were standing in our bedroom loft that it overlooked the whole living room. And she's like, no, it doesn't. It is the living room. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, that's always the fun part is when people get a chance to come, you know, obviously we've been friends with them for several years now, but you know, this is the first chance that they've had to come. And so she's, you know, they've been watching through YouTube, you know, but when you finally get to come in and everyone that comes here for the first time, they're like, okay,
it's way different.
That's not what we expected. And which is fun. And of course, everyone talks about it, but there's a truth that the camera doesn't do it justice as to how beautiful it is, even when it's a hot mess. But then, you know, how uneven the ground is, and dimensional, right? Because you're looking at it on a TV. Well, it's 2-dimensional. You don't get to see.
Yeah, we had comments like, "You don't live in a tiny house. What's not a tiny house?" And we're like, "Bet."
Yeah.
So when something goes down like the bathroom and we have to do some rearranging, it's even tighter. And I'm glad Big Booty Judy isn't any bigger than she is, because it's a little squeezy here, a little squeezy there to try to get around things. But I will have to move the toilet to edit today, though, because the chair, I don't want to sit wonky on the desk, like the desk clear over here and, my chair over here, because the toilet's in the way.
Now you're getting needy.
I gotta sit there for a couple hours. I'll get a jank in my back, and then you'll have to like massage it out for me.
Like this?
Oh, that's not what I thought he was gonna say. I thought he was gonna be like, "Don't threaten me with a good time."
Yeah, I don't know. We've got things to get done. I did discover something, guys. And if you remember back a little while ago, right? I took the tractor over to Jackson's, and it was a long drive. It's like 1.5 miles, but it took probably a half hour just to get there, because max speed on the tractor was 5 miles an hour. I'm like, that's not right.
I don't know where he's going with this.
Something's not making sense. This thing, especially for pulling and plowing, like if it was in a field tractor, it should still go, maybe 10, 15, I mean, it's never going to win a race, but it should go much faster than this.
Oh no, I don't like the way this is.
And so as I was moving things around this morning, with the tractor, and I had to I took the forks off yesterday to do a project, but we need to move the farm stand, so I had to put the forks back on. So I was driving around a little bit, and I'm like, let me try something, because there's a high-low lever, but it just says A and B. And of course, I have the book somewhere, right? And I always forget which one's high or low. And I always just leave it in the one speed anyways, because normally if Mama's on there, I got to make sure it's in low. And so I'm always in that one. Well, then I was testing it this morning, because it always seems like when I go to B, which now I found out B is high gear, guys. I can go faster than 5 miles an hour. The problem I was having was when I'm at like a half or less throttle in the high gear to start off, it acts like it's going to die when you go to take off. And I'm like, what? So I revved it up a little bit, gave it some more RPMs, and put it in there. And oh man, that thing scooted right along. I'm like, I'm an idiot. But
I'm really glad that I thought you were gonna go somewhere with like, well, you got something else broke down. Like, no. Gosh, no.
No, it was a good thing.
Another.
We're supposed to be over this whole negative. Stop with your negative stuff, lady.
You started off really like building suspense, and I was just like,
I was trying to be excited about. I found high gear, which I knew it was there. Like I said, I knew A and B. One was high, one was low, and I could never remember which way it went. I've looked it up before when we first, but that was a couple years ago. So, yeah, I'm goofball. So if I have to go back over there, which I think at some point I'm gonna have to, go back over. At least now I could go a little bit quicker than 5 miles an hour, because that was a long, miserable. And I knew, I was like, this tractor's got to go faster than 5 miles an hour. That's just insane. And we did take a trip. Well, you didn't take Laura down, but I took Ollie down to the creek yesterday, and we need some trail maintenance. With everything growing,
I already knew that, but
with everything growing, it's gone wild down there. But we finally had water back in the creek after all this rain that we've gotten, because it's been pretty dry, which isn't unusual for this time of year. But the exciting part of going down there was him and I went down. We drove around, on the trails that we have, and we were coming back. Well, we had stopped at one point because, the side-by-side died. It likes to do that randomly. And so we were just sitting there for a minute anyways. Well, just as I did, I went to go start it again. I looked up, and there goes a buck. Pretty nice-looking buck. It's still in velvet. I mean, I didn't get enough to be able to count, how, but...
Aunt Swami's walking up. Oh, no, right now she has her dresser in the cargo trailer. But I think she's still in her bathrobe.
Oh,
I was waiting for Maya to go. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
but yeah, no, seeing a really nice buck down there. Obviously this time of year they're still in velvet, so got some potential. And it was in an area that I've been thinking, hey, I want to try to hunt here. And that's something amongst all the other projects that we have. We need to
Start thinking about our deer blinds.
yeah, I need to clear a trail, even if it's just an in and out one way trail up to the back of the property line, because right now we don't have one. We can get down to the creek and we can get a little bit.
Anybody close by with a forestry mulcher? If you know of anyone, reach out, let us know. We'd be willing to rent or pay somebody to forestry mulch. We've talked about it multiple times about how we're going to get our tractor down to the creek. Yeah, I would almost take some money out of our rainy day account to pay for a forestry mulcher dude. So if you know one or you have one, give us a ring-a-ding-ding. Let us know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to figure out where that path is going to go. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I woke you up too early, didn't I?
Yeah. I'm trying to fire on all cylinders. But, and no fault of theirs. I mean, it's the time that works for them. But I mean, we're having a late breakfast if we haven't had breakfast yet. So I'm going, okay, I need food, but I don't want her to make me something and then have to wait and then turn around and recook when they get here. Like we can all have bread. I'll probably go snack on some zucchini bread or something.
Well, I have some more sour because I also fed my sourdough this morning at 3:30 ish, so that's ready. I'm gonna. What do you think about doing a pizza again? That seems to go really well when we have guests because it feeds a lot of people.
Yeah.
You sure?
Well, yes. I'm just trying to think. Like, so we have to make sure because we're supposed to be going to a truck pull tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've got to leave here probably 4:30, like 5 o'clock at the latest. I
Yeah.
would
So we
say.
gotta take chairs and
Right.
Yeah.
So we just have to make sure.
that I'm cooking it soon enough.
Yeah.
There's that. I'll throw something together. It's not really difficult for me. I've got time.
Well, I figured if I talked it out loud for the timeline, then at least you would know and hopefully keep that.
Are you
will
saying I'm late about things?
You'll be the one that's like, oh, okay, we're gonna eat now, and you're throwing the pizza in at 5 o'clock when we're supposed to leave. Gotta prep her, y'all, because I guarantee that there's gonna be a way. Somehow she'll manage at her own funeral to be late.
Well, that's kind of why I decided to go ahead and can this morning before he got well, thinking I was canning before he got up. Because the last time I had to put in a day of canning, we missed the demo derby because I wasn't going to be done. But this is the first time I didn't set out to make taco sauce. So I had a ton of cherry tomatoes, right? And I was just going to make like a cherry tomato hot sauce or cherry tomato salsa, right? Well, as I'm throwing all the ingredients in and I added a lot of jalapenos, I'm like, I wish there was a better way to do cherry tomatoes that you didn't get the skins and the seeds. But they're so small. Like, how do you do that? You can't boil the skins off of a cherry tomato and all that's left is going to be seeds and pulp. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. I could put them through the blender when it's done after I've rendered it down, put it through the blender. Anyone that knows me knows Ortega strainer, the mesh strainer. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. I'm so excited. I got some out and I was dipping chips in it, to taste test it. But I was drinking coffee and I don't eat and drink at the same time. So I didn't eat just couple small chips, but very tasty, very good. And it's got heat. I don't think it'll be something that he'll eat, but the box this year because I'm using my squeezo. This was the first time I strained everything out, and the amount of pulp and seeds that came out of even the pureed stuff, and it's like, yeah, and the skins, you know, when they coil up and make a little spike.
Well, I think having a little more room this year, because I mean, last year when you did everything, your prepping portion was all in the fifth wheel, where you didn't have the counter space. You couldn't really clamp the. We've talked about that before, was what's driving pre-making all the marinaras and all that kind of stuff, because the lack of space and jars.
Yeah, you had to buy me more jars.
Yeah.
And then
I needed to go to town for the plumbing parts for the bathroom, and so she's like, well, she went up and checked our jar storage area.
not firing on all cylinders.
Birds are really hard early in the morning. And anyway, so she messages and she says, hey, I need more jars, so get 4 cases of these. And okay, fine. So I'm at Walmart, I'm checking out, and this lady behind me, standing there, and she's like, oh, I wish you would have known me. And I was like, why is that? And she sees how much it was, ringing up them 4 cases of jars, and she's like, well, I don't can anymore, and I got a whole bunch of them just sitting in my house. And I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be nice. And then just walked away, like, hey, got my receipt, was like, I've got things to do, because one, I mean, it was Thursday, so I knew we were gonna go live. I wanted to get the bathroom stuff back together. And yeah, so
Perfect.
I admitted I messed up, but it happens. You left me unsupervised.
Every time. Every time. But I don't know, folks, but we're going to have to wrap this up because we got stuff to do. We just wanted to come on, say hello. Apologize again for not having the video out Tuesday. Try to have something out for you guys today. Sitting here looking at a box. We normally don't do collabs on the coffee chat one, but you guys, we're going to have a permanent thing added to our coffee chats. Just wait. It's something I've always wanted. Just
Yeah.
And I guess I'm making pizza dough earlier.
Get it.
Bye, guys.
I'll see you.